So, Ray, they finally listened to us. They listened to you. The Grand Wagoneer has now been dropped by $7,000. So, all this time we've been whining about prices having to come lower, especially at Stellantis. Now their Wagoneer is $7,000 cheaper. Is that going to do anything?
No. What's the least they dropped? It was what, like $3,000, and the most is up to $7,000.
Yeah, so I'll say some of the lower level Wagoneers, that like the $60,000 range. I've never seen a $60,000 Wagoneer on any dealership that I've been looking at, but they dropped those by like $3,000, and then it goes all the way up to, all right, if you look at like the $86,000, $87,000 range, the Grand Wagoneer, they dropped that by $7,000, but it's still it's still a freaking $80,000 vehicle.
Yeah, and then the ones that were $100 and $110 or $112,000 are still $110 and $112,000. Have they dropped them enough? Listen, when the cheap one's $61,000 after it had been 64, and they're going to tell you, oh, they're selling better now. Well, that's because they had to put some incentives on them to move them. It seems to me that it's a step in the right direction. It's not a big enough step. They didn't drop like the $112,000 Grand Wagoneer 2 or whatever the hell it is. They only dropped that like $40-some hundred. That one probably could have been dropped $20,000. So maybe somebody would buy it. But it is a step in the right direction. Is it a big enough step? In my personal opinion, I don't think it is. I mean, you go to the dealerships. What do you think?
I don't think it's close. So the dealership that we go to a lot, that they know me, and they have it's a Stellantis dealership. They have anywhere between $2 and $3 million of Wagoneers and Grand Wagoneers sitting on their lot. And it seems like, okay, 18 months ago, they might have had 3 or 4 of them out there. 12 months ago, they had 10. 6 months ago, they had 15. Now, I went there like maybe a week ago. They have anywhere between 20, 25, 30, somewhere in that range of these Wagoneers sitting at this dealership. And it's ridiculous. I mean, some of them are a year old too, so they're celebrating birthdays on this dealership. And I know you guys pull up the Wagoneers a lot when you're doing your Car Edge data, and it's amazing how long some of these $90,000 Wagoneers are sitting on these dealer lots. I would not want to imagine what kind of chaos a squirrel or some nesting kind of vermin can cause in one of these Grand Wagoneers.
Well, and the beauty of it is it's got big ass hood, big ass engine compartment. To rats and mice and everything, they look at it and go, a condominium. Oh my God! I wonder how many houses we can fit into this thing. So it is. I have worked at dealerships where vehicles have sat for a long time. Not necessarily because I didn't want to get rid of them, but because ownership just felt that, well, they were like a fine wine and they would get better with age. And ultimately, we would have the only one left in America, and somebody's going to pay what my owner was asking for it. And oftentimes, we ran into rodent issues. Now, if you're in some areas, where there's a lot less asphalt and a lot more dirt or grass, you're going to attract a lot more rats and mice and everything else that makes a home under the hoods of these cars, these vehicles. And it's not good when vehicles, there's so many things that can go wrong with a vehicle as it just sits. And well, you might not know. At new car dealer, like that dealership you were at that has 2,000 cars or 2,500 cars, well, they don't have enough lot attendants that are going to be moving every one of those cars, I don't know, once or twice every 30 days. So some of those vehicles are going to be sitting in the same position for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is. Never get started, never get moved. Get the flat spots in the tires. Get the rusted rotors. Get the rats and mice that decided, it's the Ford F-150 Condo Association, whatever it is, and it's just ultimately it's going to cost these dealers so much money. So yeah, by reducing a Grand Wagoneer $7,000 or a regular Wagoneer 30,000, 3,000, it ain't enough. That $3,000 is going to get eaten up by a set of tires and a wiring harness and whatever else is going to happen to that vehicle because it sits too long. You can't convince me. You will never convince me that there's enough people out there that say to themselves, I got to get me a $60,000 Jeep, let alone an $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 Jeep. You're not convincing me of that.
And here's the thing: it's not even just the Wagoneer that's the issue. With their Jeep Grand Cherokees, and I show this a lot. Some of their higher level trims, they're $80,000 for a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Who is this consumer? Who is this buyer that's buying that instead of like a nice mid-level Lexus? Or, I mean, you talk about BMWs a lot.
Yeah.
When they're going for that luxury price, who is that consumer that's thinking, oh, luxury, yeah, 80,000 Jeep, sign me up. That's what I want. That's the first place I'm going.
Yeah, because think of all the cachet that $80,000 Jeep has compared to that BMW X5 or that Lexus GX something. Or I mean, there's no cachet attached to an $80,000 Jeep. Your neighbors aren't going, oh my God, look, they bought that luxury Jeep. Although your neighbors might go, oh, look, they bought that X5 or that X7. They're not looking at you thinking you've accomplished something in life because you got an $80,000 Jeep. They're looking at you going, how the hell could they agree to spend $80,000 for a Jeep? There's a big difference there.
And I believe what I saw the other day is that of all the large SUVs, the highest day supply right now is the Grand Wagoneer.
Oh, I would think so. Absolutely. Yeah. I joke around all the time. Sometimes vehicles like the Grand Wagoneer 2 for $112,000, $120,000. That is the answer to the question that was never asked. Okay, right. Because who in their right mind at Stellantis would have said, "My God, you know what we need more than anything? What's that? Oh, we need $120,000 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. We need this big ass Jeep, to compete with the Escalade and the Denali." And you don't, because nobody who was going to buy one of those is going to say to themselves, I got to get me a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. It's just, some questions are best not asked, and better yet, some are best never answered. And the Grand Wagoneer is one that should have never been asked or answered. It was, and whoever greenlighted that, I'm sure he's now either a senior vice president or a president or a division head. But whoever greenlighted that should have been booted out the door if they haven't been. I mean,
no, give that man a raise. Yeah. Give that man a raise. That's what he got.
Yeah, because you can't convince me that anybody brought him enough information that allowed him to say, yeah, this is going to be a huge moneymaker for us. There's no way you could have ever come to that conclusion.
All right, well, a lot of you might not realize this, but this is a brand new channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, and let us know what you want us to talk about. Yeah, so sticking on Stellantis, we have a new Ram 1500 RHO. Is promising super truck thrills, but no V8. What they're going with is the 6-cylinder turbo. And we know from Toyota's last little debacle over the last 3 years how well that has worked out for the consumer, right?
Well, there's certain things that people expect. And in performance vehicles, they expect a V8. They don't expect a six-cylinder turbo or a four-cylinder turbo. They don't want to hear that the four-cylinder turbo puts out as much horsepower and torque as that eight-cylinder. They don't want to hear that. Okay, there's just, if you're thinking of performance in a pickup truck, whether it be a Ford Raptor or the Ram TRX, whatever it is, they want a big ass V8 engine in there. They want something really powerful, not a six-cylinder turbo. And they can promise all the thrills and everything, but my guess is it's not going to sell as well. It's not going to be as in high a demand as the TRX was. And it's simply going to be because of the engine option. Now, if they really want something fast, they need to get an electric vehicle.
Well, they're trying that too. That's not going so well either. Okay, here's the thing. So their selling point is that they're going to undercut the Raptor, the Ford Raptor, and their starting point. So there's going to have different levels of trim.
Yeah,
but their entry price is going to be $72,000. That's the starting point. You can only imagine how far it's going to go up from there.
And it'll go up a lot. And is the Raptor selling as well as it used to? I don't think.
Not right now. It's not.
Okay. Yeah. So then why do they think this new thing's going to sell on the Ram side of things? At a certain point, that market for those type of vehicles kind of gets a little saturated in my mind. I don't know. If I was a drug runner, maybe I'd want one. I'm not sure.
The big issue here, I think, is the motor. So I can talk to that a little bit, because I mean, if I'm going to look for a truck, if I want to go buy something big myself, I know I've had experience with turbos, and there's just more moving parts to break down in the truck, and you don't get the same feel as you get with this big V8. And guys who are truck guys and want trucks to do truck things, they want to have that V8. And this is why I go back to Toyota, where the older Tundras that had the V8 are bringing such a premium, because no one wants to buy the six-cylinder turbos and the four-cylinder turbos. Nobody wants that, that are trying to buy trucks in these Tundras. So it's creating this massive used car market bubble for these V8 trucks, because that's what people want. They don't want the change. That you made a great motor, don't change it. And I think a lot of these companies, I don't know if it's governments, EPA kind of stuff that's forcing a lot of their hands to go this route. I don't know if the six-cylinder turbos are just cheaper to produce. I don't know if they need the gas mileage. I don't know if they think that the consumer wants the gas mileage, but it's not working out for even a stellar company like Toyota, where they had this rock solid product. And now you go to a Toyota dealership and you see nothing but Tundras and Tacomas sitting everywhere because people aren't buying them.
There's certain vehicles, what makes them successful is the engine. It's just that simple. And it takes a long time to change people's perceptions. And it's too soon to change people's perceptions that going from an high output eight-cylinder engine to a high output V6 turbo or a V4 turbo is going to capture their customer's imagination the way that eight-cylinder does. It's going to take time. And if you think those eight-cylinder Tundras bring a premium now, what do you think is going to happen to nice ones 10 years from now, when, more than 50% of all vehicles sold are EVs, and there's just going to be some people like 10 years from now, 50 years old, 60 years old, that want to get back to the good old days where we had a big, powerful Hemi engine, or we had a big, powerful V8 in a Toyota. What do you think people are going to be willing to pay to relive those days? those vehicles are going to be worth so damn much money that I don't necessarily picture myself being around here another 15 or 20 years from now. But you're a young dude. You should be buying some of those V8s and just storing those son of a guns, and then whipping them out of the storage area 15 years from now and taking them to Barrett Jackson and be selling them for big money because people are going to pay it.
I'll stack them in my 2-car garage that we got. I want a warehouse, but my wife won't let me have one.
Let me ask you a question. Will the homeowners association allow that warehouse? Or
I'm going to be the president. I get to do whatever I want to do. We talked about this massive election that's happening right now. I'm running for president, and I'm going to say that I can build a warehouse right behind my house as long as my wife lets me do it.
Yeah, and, so you can't.
So that's never happening. Yeah. But I need somewhere, baby. When I tell you to calm down,
baby.
Yeah,
I need somewhere to have my alone time, and the warehouse is the perfect place.
What's going to be in that warehouse?
I want to buy 4 Tauruses and old like Dodge Carrier. I don't want to have a warehouse full of nice cars. I don't care. I want to have stuff that I like to drive, like from the late 90s, early 2000s, the stuff that I built my business on. I want to have a bunch of stuff like that.
Okay.
That sounds great. So we don't have room for a warehouse, and I can't help that.
All right, the answer is no. We got it. All right, Ray, I'll give you the option here. All right, Ray, this is Car Sense. I don't know what episode we're on, and we said right at the beginning we're not going to talk about this, but today is something. I mean, there's a massive election that's coming up, and it's going to change everything. And really what I want to talk about is me running for HOA president and how this is going to affect the world. And I want to ask you, do you have my support on this, Ray?
Do I have your support or do you have my support?
I don't know. I don't even know what I just said. I was sick last week, and you're supposed to lead the show, and I come on and talk about God knows what, and then you're talking
about the HOA. Bless your heart. And if you ever want to ruin your life, run for HOA president and have all your neighbors hate your damn guts. It won't be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think my wife's going to allow me to run for HOA president, even though I can make real change. I can make this neighborhood great again. It's a new neighborhood, so it was
never great before. Is what you're saying? If it's a new neighborhood,
she doesn't. She's here on a mic. She doesn't even want to talk. She's just shaking her head.
Where's my mute button? I need to get off of this.
Yeah, and if you live in my neighborhood, the choice is Brandon. Is Brandon? We're going to get those bushes that we've been requesting. That's what we're going to get.
The Jeb Bush and George Bush, or different bushes.
Change is coming, and it's in the form of a pickleball court, and that's what we want.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're running for, but whatever it is, you're doing it like a used car salesman.
He's running for some alone time, is what it sounds
like. It sounds like I'm running straight for some alone time, is what my wife says.
I think Kristen's onto something.
All right, here we go. All right, you ready to roll?
I am. Can we just tell folks the reason we weren't here last week is because you were sick, probably the sickest you've been in a long time, or ever, which would also be a long time. And we're so glad that you're feeling better. You look, don't take this wrong when I say it, but you look as handsome as ever. So,
I think it's the lighting. I'm pretty sure it's the lighting.
Yeah, because you have a hell of a tan.
We tweaked it a little bit. So I don't know if I had COVID. I don't know if I had the flu. My poor wife, I was in bed for a solid 5 days. We have a 6-year-old son. Wow. So she had to do everything while her lame husband was just flat out in the bed, not even able to move. There was one day I got up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get some work done. It was right in the middle of this. I'm feeling a little bit better. Okay. Got up, got in the shower. And then as soon as I got out of the shower, I got right back in bed and I went to sleep. I could not move my body. It was so bad.
You missed the part where I rolled my eyes when you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to get up and go somewhere." Okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. So the shower wore you out, huh? Just having that water beat down.
Oh man, it was. I've never experienced whatever I had. I've never experienced that
Well-
before, and I don't wish that on anybody. And I pray to God that I don't have that anymore.
Well, we're
I-
certainly thankful that you're feeling better and looking forward to whatever direction today's conversation goes.
All right, I just realized something. So
Yeah.
whenever I go to automotive news,
Yeah.
to talk about these articles, my
Yeah.
full name is at the top right of the screen. I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
glad
see
you
here.
saw that too. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can use that today. All right, we're gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna go without showing my screen. Good pickup. Do you see that?
I did.
Yeah,
Might have mentioned
fantastic.
it before. But...
Yeah.
All right.
Because we don't
Yeah.
want people to know who the hell you are other than
Yeah,
Brandon.
we don't know anyone know who I am.
Yeah.
Unless you're casting your vote in our neighborhood.
All right, that's enough.
All right.
Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Brandon is just my what the celebrities use there. They have like a stage name or something like that.
Yeah. It's like a pseudonym for a writer.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name's actually Carl. All right, let's see here. So
what do you want to talk about, Carl?
Yeah, I'm flustered here. Let's see here. We're going to talk about Ford. We're going to talk about their earnings.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell every living person you know that they need to subscribe to Car Sense with Brandon and Ray.